Welcome to Time Trek Tales channel. Have you ever wondered how a young man from Macedonia managed to conquer the known world in just a decade? This is the tale of Alexander the Great, a name etched in the annals of history. Born in Pella, the ancient capital of Macedonia, Alexander was not just any royal child. His tutor was none other than Aristotle, the renowned philosopher. The wisdom and knowledge imparted by Aristotle shaped Alexander into a formidable leader and a strategic genius. At the tender age of 20, Alexander ascended to the throne, following the untimely assassination of his father, King Philip II. A young king with an insatiable hunger for conquest, Alexander dreamed of expanding his kingdom beyond the borders of Macedonia. His ambition was as vast as the world he was yet to conquer. By the time he was 30, Alexander had created one of the largest empires of the ancient world. But how did he do it? Alexander's conquests began with the invasion of the Persian Empire. This was no small feat, for the Persian Empire was a vast, powerful entity stretching from Egypt in the west to India in the east. Yet Alexander, with his indomitable spirit, was undeterred. The first significant clash of Alexander's campaign was the Battle of Granicus. Here, he showcased his mastery of military strategy, employing a phalanx formation that allowed his troops to pierce through the Persian front lines. His leadership skills were also on full display. Despite being vastly outnumbered, his men trusted him implicitly, their morale buoyed by his charisma and courage. Next came the Battle of Issus, where Alexander faced off against Darius III, the king of Persia himself. Against all odds, Alexander was victorious, a testament to his tactical genius and the unwavering resolve of his troops. This victory was a turning point in the campaign, shattering the illusion of Persian invincibility and paving the way for further successes. The final nail in the coffin for the Persian Empire was the Battle of Gaugamela. Alexander, demonstrating a keen understanding of the terrain, used the flat, open field to his advantage. He drew the Persian forces into a decisive engagement, and despite being heavily outnumbered, his troops emerged victorious. This victory marked the fall of the Persian Empire, and with the subsequent death of Darius III, Alexander stood unopposed. Throughout his campaign against Persia, Alexander showcased his remarkable abilities as a leader. He was a master strategist, capable of turning dire situations to his advantage. He inspired his troops, instilling in them a belief in their invincibility that often tipped the balance in their favor. His victories were not just the result of superior tactics, but also the morale and loyalty of his men who would follow him to the ends of the earth. With Persia vanquished, Alexander's gaze turned eastward to the rich and mysterious lands of Egypt and India. What new challenges would these lands present? Only time and the indomitable spirit of Alexander would tell. Alexander's ambition knew no bounds. After Persia, he set his sights on Egypt and India. In Egypt, the Macedonian conqueror was hailed as a liberator. The pharaoh had been a puppet of the Persians, and the Egyptians saw Alexander as their deliverer from Persian rule. He did not disappoint. In the year 331 BC, Alexander founded a city at the mouth of the Nile. He named it Alexandria after himself. This city, with its iconic lighthouse, would become a beacon of culture, knowledge, and trade in the ancient world. Alexander's desire to expand his empire didn't stop there. He turned his gaze towards the east, towards India. But India was a different beast altogether. It was a land of diverse cultures, languages, and formidable kingdoms. It was also a place of extreme weather conditions. The heat of the Indian summer, the monsoon rains, and the large, fast-flowing rivers were all alien to the Macedonian army. In the battlefield, Alexander faced a new challenge. The Indian kings fielded war elephants, mighty beasts that the Greeks had never encountered before. Yet Alexander was not to be deterred. He adapted his battle strategies, incorporating elephants into his own forces. His relentless drive to conquer was unmatched. In India, Alexander's forces fought some of their most grueling battles. The Battle of the Hydaspes River against King Porus was a testament to Alexander's strategic genius and the indomitable spirit of his troops. Despite the odds, they emerged victorious, but the conquest of India took a toll on the Macedonian army. The soldiers, weary from the continuous battles and the harsh conditions, yearned for home. They had marched thousands of miles, fought countless battles, braved deserts, mountains, and rivers, all for the dream of their young king. Eventually, Alexander's forces reached the limits of their endurance, forcing him to turn back. But his empire stretched from Greece to Egypt and as far east as India. His ambition, his drive, his dream of a world united under one banner had pushed the boundaries of the known world. Alexander's reign was brief, but his impact was profound. His conquests were not just about territorial expansion, but they also brought about a significant cultural transformation that still reverberates today. Alexander's empire, stretching from Greece to Egypt and as far east as India, became a melting pot of various cultures, all under the umbrella of Hellenism, the spread of Greek culture. In this vast expanse, Greek philosophy, art, and science flourished and intermingled with the cultures of the conquered lands. Think of it as a grand cultural exchange program, one where Aristotle's teachings met with Eastern philosophies, where Greek dramas were performed in the palaces of Egypt, where the mathematical precision of the Greeks merged with the astronomical prowess of the Babylonians. But Alexander's story doesn't end with his sudden and mysterious death at the tender age of 32. His empire, vast and diverse, was left without a rightful heir. This led to a power vacuum, and his empire was eventually divided among his generals, the so-called Diadochi, in a series of conflicts known as the Wars of the Diadochi. These divisions would go on to form their own powerful Hellenistic kingdoms, thus ensuring the continued influence of Greek culture. Yet the legacy of Alexander's conquests is not limited to the spread of Hellenism. His military strategies and tactics are still studied in military academies around the world. His vision of a cosmopolitan empire where different cultures could coexist and thrive under a single ruler was revolutionary. It was a vision that would later inspire many empires, from the Romans to the Ottomans. Alexander the Great's conquests reshaped the world, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to fascinate us to this day. Indeed, he was a man who dared to dream big, and in doing so, he changed the course of history. Alexander's story is a testament to the power of ambition, the pursuit of glory, and the enduring allure of a dream. A conqueror, a visionary, a legend. Alexander was all of these and more. His is a legacy that will forever echo through the annals of history.